Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hi there, good morning. It's a not so ominous sounding Friday the 15th.
Hi, good morning. Hey, it's the last Friday of spring break before the spring break weekend.
For a lot of folks.
For a lot of y'all out there, and if you have spring break plans, especially if you're heading, I don't know, to the coast or up to the hill country, you might have a wet one, Mike.
That's right.
Yeah, and actually the threat for severe weather has definitely gone up. So here's what the latest is from the Storm Prediction Center. So we were under, and I just want to show you these colors. This darker shade, that's a 1, 2, and then 3 on a scale of 1 to 5. We were under the 2 level threat, and then this morning that has become an enhanced threat for severe weather. And this is from San Antonio metropolitan area, including New Braunfels, back out west to Del Rio, back to the southwest around Eagle Pass. And this is something we don't really see all that often, the enhanced risk. That's a very good chance for severe weather. And the biggest threat is going to be very large hail, 1.5 to 2-inch hail can be expected with any of these storms that do happen to pop up, and then also very high winds. Now, as far as flooding, very, very low risk. I mean, as time rolls on over the next couple of days, because we're going to be getting so much more rain around here, you might have some low-lying flooding. And then, you know, you can't completely rule out just a little spin up. We had one well off to the northwest earlier this morning. But again, the large hail is going to be the biggest threat with that. Here's what's going on right now. Actually, things have settled down quite a bit. We did have a severe storm with some inch diameter hail in Live Oak County earlier this morning. That then just sort of died down. A couple of leftover showers there around Cuero, but everything continues to work its way off. So now this is kind of the calm before later on this afternoon. One thing we have to watch out for, and this is the area up here right around Ozona where we had that tornado warning earlier this morning. And with, as you can see, maybe a couple little specks that are trying to pop up back here. The thinking is that something may try and develop on the tail end of this. And so that's why there is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for Edwards and Valverde counties up until noon. And I'm just waiting for when the severe thunderstorm watch gets posted for the rest of the area later on today. Now, as far as fog, that's still an issue. This morning, visibilities are quite low. A lot of mist out there, even though the rain has moved on out. We just have to be on the lookout for that. Everything dropped down from yesterday. Remember, Oak was about 2,200 plus, 1,500 still on the high side. Mold, Hackberry, and Mulberry are low, and showers continue to taper off. We have some fog around this morning. Storms potentially severe, fairly, like I said, the enhanced risk for severe weather with high winds, upper 70s today. Then we're going to have more showers and storms. A couple of spots of some heavy rain, and that's going to be tomorrow as well as on Sunday. Mid 60s, a little bit lower as far as temperatures are concerned. There's still going to be a small severe threat tomorrow as well as on Sunday. And then we go into the first half of next week. Still some more rain around here, and then cooler temperatures to start off spring. We're going to get it all sorted out in just a couple of minutes. If you are hitting the roads right now, RJ Marquez, Traffic Authority, what's going on, sir?
All right, Mike, so things have been clearing out for the better part of most of the city here. We saw a lot of different things, especially along 281 and 410 and I-10 on the east side. We take a quick look here. TransGuide, 410 Ingram, traffic moving pretty good. You see some of the fog in some of these cameras here, so just kind of anticipate that before you head out right now. A couple of things to let you know about if you are about to hit the roads. We have a crash being reported I-10 westbound at Crossroads Boulevard. That's going to be at the Wonderland of the Americas Mall. Not causing any major delays, but something to keep in mind if you are going to be headed up 410 and I-10 here in just a bit. Let's take you to the downtown area because we have a stall being reported 35 northbound at I-10. Again, not causing too many delays here in this area. This is going to be affecting our traffic coming up from the downtown area all the way up to 35 north and 10. Speaking of downtown, all right, there's going to be a lot going on this weekend in the downtown area. So just wanted to point out a few things here. Obviously, there's also going to be events at the Tobin, the Lila Cockrell Theater. But biggest thing that we're going to see here, St. Patrick's Day, the River Parade, River Celebration is going to be taking place in the North Presa, La Soya area. So it's going to be very busy there. The Tejano Music Awards, the fanfare is taking place there at Hemisphere. So it's going to be very busy in that area, Civic Park area. And we also have a big event taking place at the Majestic Theater. They're doing Come From Away there at the Majestic over the weekend. So again, a lot of different things taking place downtown area. Make sure to plan ahead, use those city parking garages just in case if you want to make sure that you're safe parking. It probably costs you a little bit, but still better than being towed at one of the other maybe garages or lots that we see down there. All right, guys, that's a check at traffic. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, RJ. A local family trying to come to grips with how a teenage girl goes out for a walk, ends up being killed so violently with so many unanswered questions.
Such a tragic story. San Antonio police say 17-year-old Caitlin Hernandez was strangled and her body was left in a drainage ditch within half a mile from her home. And now her family is pleading the public for answers.
Garrett Berger spoke with them and they hope that one of you might be able to help.
Caitlin Hernandez was just 2 months from walking the stage at her high school graduation when she went for a walk Tuesday with a friend and didn't come home.
She wanted to become a veterinarian, and y'all took her from us too soon, 17 years old.
Police say someone later found Caitlin's phone in a ditch, and after further searching, officers also found a jacket. And under this bridge, the teen's nude body. The grisly discovery throwing her family into grief and sorrow.
We're barely holding up. We're taking life right now, 1 minute at a time.
Police questioned the neighbor Caitlin walked with, and though they posted a different person of interest online, they say they've since identified him and said he's cooperating. Caitlin's aunt would not discuss the ongoing investigation, focusing instead on the animal-loving teen her niece was, the oldest sibling who took time to play with her younger sisters.
And now her little sisters, they no longer have time with her.
But her aunt hopes there's still time for justice, for the person or people responsible to be found. Someone, she says, heard something, saw something, knows something.
I used to live in this area, so I know what you see, you don't say. But I'm begging you, please, please, somebody speak up. Somebody knows something.
That plea, a prayer that only a witness can answer. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
If you have any information about this case, call the number on your screen. It's the Crime Stoppers number here in San Antonio, 210-224-7867. You do not have to give your name to leave a tip.
The family is also planning a vigil for tonight, meeting at the family home, then walking over to the site where her body was found.
Well, over in Schertz, police are looking for a 17-year-old boy who's been missing for 3 weeks. Julian Flores was last seen leaving his house February 23rd around 7 in the evening. He lives in a neighborhood between Green Valley Road and Cibolo Valley Drive. He was wearing a black hoodie, gray sweatpants, and green tennis shoes. He has brown hair and hazel eyes. Anyone with information on where he might be is asked to call the Schertz Police Department at 210-619-1200.
And the injury to a child trial of Jose Ruiz continues this morning. The jury is returning after hearing from one of the suspects in the 5-year-old Mercedes Lozoya's death yesterday. Mercedes' mother, who is also Ruiz's ex-girlfriend. Some of the details heard in the court yesterday were difficult to listen to. Katrina Mendoza laid out the abuse she says she and her ex-boyfriend Jose inflicted on her young daughter.
He would spank them, he would pull Mercedes' hair and cover her mouth and nose, use thumbtacks on her feet.
Mendoza told jurors some of the pictures shown in court were taken by Ruiz on his cell phone, graphic photos that showed her with bruises. While jurors and those in the gallery could be heard crying, neither Mendoza or Ruiz appeared to show any emotion. Mendoza accepted a plea deal in exchange for her testimony. She now faces up to 45 years in prison.
We are continuing to follow this trial and live stream it. Today is expected to be another very emotional day as the medical examiner is set to take the stand. You can watch proceedings live on KSAT.com, KSAT Plus, and the KSAT YouTube page. Erica Hernandez will have updates for us in our later newscasts.
Here's today's 9 at 9.
District Attorney Fani Willis can stay on the 2020 Georgia election interference case against former President Donald Trump. A judge this morning rejected the effort to disqualify her. Defense lawyers were claiming that Willis's relationship with a special prosecutor on the case was a conflict of interest, but the judge didn't agree.
A wake-up call for parents nationwide. Yesterday, a jury convicted the father of Michigan school shooter Ethan Crumbley for not doing enough to stop his son from carrying out that deadly attack at his high school in 2021. Ethan's mom was also convicted on the same charges. The parents could each face up to 60 years if prosecutors ask for consecutive sentences on all 4 convictions. Ethan Crumbley is already serving life in prison.
A jump in energy and fuel costs pushed up wholesale inflation much faster than expected in February. The Producer Price Index measures the average change in prices that producers and manufacturers pay to suppliers. The federal government reports it rose 1.6% for the 12 months ending in February. On a monthly basis, the index rose 0.6%. That's double what was expected.
People are still spending, but slightly below expectations. Retail sales rose 0.6% from January to February. That's excluding auto sales, which were up 0.3%. The government also revised January sales, now down more than 1%. Many economists believe people are running out of pandemic savings and are feeling inflation's pinch.
Mortgage rates have fallen for the second week in a row, according to Freddie Mac. The 30-year fixed-rate loan averaged 6.74%. But while rates are expected to continue to inch down in the next few months, home buyers shouldn't expect a major drop. Mortgage rates remain high as the market deals with the pressure of inflation.
A new report from the FCC highlights the digital divide among Americans. It found that 24 million people still don't have access to high-speed internet. That's 7% of the nation's population. The report also included revisions as to what qualifies as high-speed internet. The change reflects how essential high-speed internet access is for everything, from remote work to telehealth visits, an issue that became especially obvious during the pandemic.
Nissan and Honda may team up on key parts for electric vehicles. A partnership between the two Japanese rivals could help Nissan make EVs more economical. Both car makers are facing heavy competition from China.
Amazon is throwing its first ever big spring sale. The online retailer announced deals up to 50% off on beauty products, sports equipment, clothes, electronics, and more. Exclusive deals will be available to Amazon Prime members. It all starts on Wednesday.
This Sunday is St. Patrick's Day. It recognizes Ireland's patron saint, a Christian missionary who converted the Irish people to Christianity. Legend has it that the shamrock, the national flower of Ireland, was used by St. Patrick to explain the concept of the Holy Trinity. Meanwhile, the ubiquity of the color green is a nod to Ireland's nickname, the Emerald Isle. Speaking of, don't forget to wear green. It's supposed to prevent you from getting pinched by a leprechaun. And that's today's 9 at 9. Or someone you know.
Right.
9:10, 71 degrees, still ahead on GMSA at 9.
As you start to see Bluebonnets popping up along Texas highways or right here in San Antonio, you might be asking yourself, is it illegal to pick them? Coming up, we'll explain the laws surrounding our state flower.
Outside with live cam as spring break is slowly coming to a close. Lots of clouds over San Antonio International. We are on storm alert going into later today and even part of the weekend. 9:15, a matter of time, although some folks, Mike would say, have already had a dose of showers or storms today.
Yeah, we had a few storms around the area this morning. Nothing real strong. Of course, down around, as I mentioned, Live Oak County, there was that one cell with that small hail, and just north of our area, which is kind of what we expected. Now, later on this afternoon, it's rare when we see the enhanced threat for severe weather around here. That's not to be Chicken Little, but that's not good. It's a pretty good chance we're going to be seeing something very strong today. And again, large hail is going to be the biggest threat. 1.5 to 2-inch diameter hail. So it just takes about a quarter size, the inch diameter hail that's what reaches severe levels. So we're looking at, twice that big or even bigger than that. Obviously high winds, heavy rain, a little spin up. That was the issue earlier this morning. There was a tornado warning earlier this morning way out northwest of our area. Most everything, well, except right here around, say, Cuero, has pretty much come to an end. A few leftover showers around here. And then again, further off to the northwest, we've got this, well, still some severe weather out here right around Junction. And this is going to be grazing just to the north of Gillespie County, if indeed it does hold together. But the thinking is that some may form up on the tail end of that, which is why we do have that severe thunderstorm watch out there to the north and west. Here's the visible satellite picture, and there are a couple of holes in the clouds here and there. So, yeah, there may be a few glimpses of sunshine getting on through, but that's just going to help to sort of destabilize things that much more. You don't really want things to get too hot in a situation like this because the atmosphere is already like a tinderbox as far as or powder keg, however you want to put it, as far as all the measurements of the instability in the atmosphere. Here's what's going on throughout the rest of the morning and the afternoon. Really not much, but again, by later on this afternoon, we start to see some of these cells develop, and then they will continue to grow, and this is going to be late afternoon. And it doesn't mean they're just going to be confined out to the west. We may still have some that are going to be developing further to the east, and this will be the situation on into tonight. Sort of easing up a little bit and then refiring tomorrow. And there's still another threat for some potentially severe storms tomorrow. And then that also continues on into Sunday. And it looks like we're going to have another big wave of some potentially heavier downpours coming through here during the day on Sunday as well. So once again, this is the enhanced threat. Just goes from a scale of 1 to 5, and this is a 3. So this is pretty good odds that we're going to be, anything that does pop is going to become severe quite easily, very quickly. Again, the strong winds along with it, and those large hail is the biggest threat with that. And the rest of the area is under a 2 on a scale of 1 to 5. So everything was ramped up earlier this morning with the update from the Storm Prediction Center. Small risk of severe weather tomorrow, and then down to the southeast on Sunday as well. All right, and this is going through Wednesday. So this is what we've been hoping for, a nice period. And hopefully, I mean, there's going to be some heavy downpours here and there. But, you know, for the most part, this is going to be just a long period of some rain. The wish is obviously that everything just soaks in quite nicely. And we're looking at, this was ramped up as well from the Weather Prediction Center. It had looked like the heaviest rain was going to be up to the northeast, but through Wednesday, you know, we're looking at 2-3 inches of rain, maybe even more than that, from Del Rio Eagle Pass all the way through San Antonio up to the northeast as well. So it's a great forecast as far as rain is concerned. It's just today that we really have to be on the lookout, and we're going to be up to 79 today. That front moves on through. That's really the focal point for some of these kind of the triggering mechanisms. So it's not going to take much. Like I said, the atmosphere is very ripe, and then you just need something to spark it off, and that's going to be that front. Then over the weekend, and behind the front, we do drop down into the mid-upper 60s for high temperatures. And starting off next week, it is going to be even cooler than that. Ironically, spring begins Tuesday night late, but it's only going to be 60 on Tuesday. Sarah's going to be in here with the latest at noon. Mia then tonight. Keep tuned online. Grab that weather app, because you're going to get alerts as soon as we get them and they send them out. So.
I'm going to try my trick again later. I've got an old window visor. You know, it normally goes on the inside of your windshield in the summertime. It's got a little cushion to it. What I do is I put it on the outside of my windshield under the windshield wipers, and hopefully the truck's windshield will not take a beating from the hail.
If you've got, you know, a sunroof or something like that, you may want to try and cover that as well, or put it in the garage if you can. So.
I keep a lot of extra cardboard from the freeze from covering the plants.
There you go.
It's all flattened, ready to go.
Yeah.
Put it on.
Tie it on somehow.
That's a great idea.
I can fit one car in the garage. The other one is the sacrificial lamb outside the driveway.
We do what we got to do, right? 919, 70 degrees.
All right, when we come back, how a $45 million class action lawsuit is getting Walmart shoppers some extra cash in their pockets.
In morning headlines, Walmart has settled a weighty lawsuit, and you might be able to cash in. Plus, San Antonio getting a visit from some pretty popular Broadway musicals.
And Bluebonnets, they are in full bloom. So it brings up the question, is it really against the law to pick them? David Sears, our Bluebonnet police, he's going to explain.
Yeah, I'm driving up the highway looking for these people breaking the law. Or are they? breaking the law. Ooh, we'll talk about that in just a second. But first, let's start with this. If you are a Walmart grocery shopper, you may be able to get a little money back because Walmart has apparently overcharged for some of their items. This is a lawsuit that claims Walmart overcharged for items that are sold by weight, like packaged meat and loose fruit. Here's some evidence. The price on the package of pork tenderloin was $3.92 a pound, but when the meat got rung up, it was $4.36 a pound. The bag of oranges, $7.98 for 8 pounds, but the bag only weighed 5 pounds. Walmart denies they did anything wrong, but they did settle a lawsuit. So if you think you were overcharged for any of the items on the list between October 18th of 2018 and January 19th of this year, you can file a claim. So if you happen to have a receipt, you could get up to like $500. If you don't have a receipt, maybe only $25. The link to filing a claim is on our website.
Cool.
If you love the theater or have never experienced a Broadway play at the Majestic but want to, this may be the season to check it out. The Majestic released the Broadway hits coming to San Antonio this upcoming season. If you remember the 70s group ABBA, one of the musicals is Mamma Mia, including the big hit from ABBA. One for the whole family, the timeless story of Peter Pan. And then there is Moulin Rouge. There's Mean Girls, created from the book by comedian Tina Fey. Funny Girl, Shucks. We've got all the info about the 2024-25 season on our website. Just head over to KSAT.com. All right, this is a beautiful time of year in Texas, especially driving up and down the highways. The beautiful bluebonnets in bloom. A lot of folks like to pull over, take pictures of their family, especially their kids, all in the bluebonnets. First off, make sure you do that safely. More on that in a second. But there's always the question, is it against the law to pick bluebonnets, especially on public land like the side of highways or the medians? There is actually no specific law against picking bluebonnets. However, there are laws that may keep you from doing it. For instance, here are some of those. It's illegal to take plants, animals, or artifacts from state parks, National Park Service, and lands. Illegal to trespass on private property, and damaging or destroying right-of-way and government property. Even though picking a few flowers may be okay, individuals should not dig up clusters of flowers or drive their vehicle onto fields of flowers. That could be a problem for you, so you could be charged with destruction of a right-of-way. Remember your driving rules as well. Laws like, failure to signal if you're going to pull over and check out some bluebonnets, traffic and illegal parking. As long as you're respecting other people's private property and following traffic laws, you're unlikely to face any legal troubles for picking a bluebonnet or two. Be safe, don't do it.
Okay.
Just don't do it.
A couple of things. I have a question.
Okay.
So the bluebonnets, they would be considered government property if they're growing along like a TxDOT highway, correct?
I would think.
Right? So I don't know. My mom, I remember just growing up as a kid, like, don't pick them.
Right.
And then I think I was like going to jail if like I accidentally picked one or if I stepped on one. I was like, ah!
But you see how they kind of get around don't pick them with all these other rules and regulations you got to follow. So the easy thing to do is just don't pick them. And oh, by the way, if you're going to get in a pile of bluebonnets, you should watch out for rattlesnakes.
Yeah, I showed you guys the video this morning.
Yeah, so if you hear that,
don't do it just like
Big.
that. Just like that.
These were big rattlesnakes.
It's
Terrifying.
David Sears in a bunch of bluebonnets, or it could be snake. Thank you, David. 927, 71 degrees. There's a lot more ahead on GMSA at 9.
Including a look at how much we really know about diabetes, which is one of the highest rates in the country. It's important to know what the condition actually does to our bodies. We'll give you a breakdown of the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes, what causes sugar spike, and how many carbs you should have per meal.
We know diabetes is common in our region, but this stat, that was my fault.
It's okay.
I was already ready for the next story.
It's okay. Well, we're also ready for the rain that is going to happen later today. We kind of had an appetizer this morning.
Yeah.
Later on will be the main course.
And I had the airport camera, live cam, pointed off to the east like that. It really didn't show it that well. This is I-10-410, and you can see we're starting to see a little bit of sun trying to squeeze through the clouds, which is not a good thing in a situation like this, because that only adds sort of insult to injury, if you will, and makes the atmosphere, if we get that much more, makes it that much more unstable. It's already very unstable. It's like a powder keg out there today. 71 degrees. We have been pretty steady, actually maybe drop a degree or two in the past hour or so, and just a ton of humidity, obviously. Wind is out of the east to southeast. A decent breeze out there, just continuing to pump in the moisture. And again, the severe threat has been ramped up to an enhanced threat. This is a 3 on a level of 1 to 5 for the metropolitan area, going into the hill country, Kerrville over toward Rock Springs, Lakey Del Rio, and then it does include Pleasanton and back down sort of to the west-southwest to Eagle Pass. So this is a very high risk for severe weather. It's just it's not a matter of if, but when things are going to be popping and getting very strong to severe very quickly. Hail, large hail, 1.5 to 2, even close to 3-inch diameter hail can't be ruled out. That's the biggest threat in this situation around here, as well as high winds. Flooding, not really. Tornado, I mean, there's always that outside chance, a little spin up, but not very likely out there. Here's what's going on radar right now. And we've got this cell up here to the north. It is primarily working its way to the east, but the fear is that some things may try and develop back down here along the tail of it around Edwards County as well as Valverde County. So that's why there is the severe thunderstorm watch in effect for Edwards and Valverde counties up until noon. And then Sarah and Spivey and I were just talking. It's like, so it's just a matter of time. When is the Weather Service going to issue the severe thunderstorm watch for the rest of the area, given the forecast later on today? Still got some fog hanging around here this morning. Again, all the allergens went down, although Oak is still on the high side. 75 at noon. Again, leftover showers off to the east. Those are continuing to end. A little bit of sunshine thrown in. Then we'll start to see those storms fire up later on today and going into tonight with 79 for a high temperature. Going to be one of those find some movies this weekend. Hunker down inside because for the most part, it's going to be wet. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Sarah, Mark.
All right, now's the time. Thank you, Mike. We know diabetes is common in our area, but this stat may drive that point home. South Texas has a higher rate of diabetes than the rest of Texas or even the nation. That is according to the National Institutes of Health.
So what exactly is it and what's happening to our bodies when you get diabetes? So Myra Arthur breaks it down in this KSAT Explains.
You probably know that diabetes has something to do with sugars and insulin, but none of it is sweet.
The insulin that we all produce to try to make the sugars go back to a normal range, it's not very efficient, so it doesn't work the way it's supposed to work.
Insulin is a hormone. It's produced by the pancreas and works to help your body convert sugar into energy. But we're not just talking about things like cookies and cake.
Carbohydrates are what break down into blood sugar. So carbohydrates is the fancy way to say sugar.
And before we go any further here, know that not all carbs are bad.
That's literally what the brain is using to function. It's the gasoline of the body.
Without enough insulin or with insufficient insulin, blood sugar levels in the body get too high, and that sugar is not broken down into energy.
When your sugar levels are too high, then you're not really able to use all of that sugar as energy, and you're just accumulating that extra sugar on your bloodstream, which is what causes the complications of diabetes.
When the body can't break down sugar, it has to store it somewhere. That storage comes in the form of fat.
On top of that, your liver, it's always producing sugar, extra sugar that's just dumping into your bloodstream.
Insulin tells the liver when to release that sugar. Just one more job, the hormone won't do well if the body doesn't have a strong supply. Plus, when excess sugar is stored as fat, excess fat can damage the liver. A vicious cycle.
So you might be thinking, why not just add more insulin to the body? Insulin injections are available, right? Well, that used to be the main way that type 2 diabetes was treated, but now different medications target different problems.
We have some medications that will work, for example, at your pancreas level and tell the pancreas, okay, we need to be more efficient. So we don't need to put out all this insulin, we just need to make the insulin work a little better. We have others that will work at the fatty tissue, for example, or the muscles, and they will tell the fatty tissue and the muscle, take the sugar but use it as energy, don't store it, just create energy out of it. We have other medicines that will go to your liver and will tell the liver, okay, we have enough sugar, you don't need to keep overworking yourself in producing more sugar.
Lifestyle changes are also just what the doctor orders. The healthier a person eats, the less sugar they consume, and the easier it is to control sugar levels. Plus, exercise.
Because every time you're exercising, you're using energy. And so you're taking some of that sugar, you're taking some of those fatty deposits to mobilize energy and help the sugars as well.
There are two types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. Most of what we've talked about so far has to do with type 2. Type 1 is much different.
At 4? Perfect. Yeah? Okay.
Natalia, who lives with type 1, wishes more people knew that.
They think type 1 and type 2 are the same. They're not. Apple and oranges.
Yeah.
They're not even on the same playing field.
Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease.
This means that the immune system, which should be hunting down germs and viruses and other bad guys, gets confused and attacks your own cells instead.
A patient's body attacks its own insulin.
And so these patients typically will have barely any insulin production at the beginning, and eventually they'll completely stop producing insulin.
So they have to rely on daily insulin injections.
I take about 3 to 5 injections a day.
3 to 5 injections a day?
Yeah, 3 meals, and then the one that I take once a day, and then if I have a snack that's kind of carby, or to correct a blood sugar that's too high.
On the flip side, when sugar levels get too low,
they say you may feel like you're intoxicated. That's the best way to describe somebody that doesn't have diabetes. Like you almost don't have control of your own body if you become hypoglycemic.
Diet and exercise are good for any diabetes patient, but for type 2 diabetics, it could change the trajectory of their disease.
Me, doesn't matter how healthy I am, whether it's eating, exercising, no matter what I do, I'm going to be dependent on insulin.
Even though insulin is a life-saving drug and one of the most important medical advances in, I think, medical history, it's not a cure. And that's why JDRF's highest goal is developing cures for type 1 diabetes.
For type 2 diabetes, family history plays a big role.
I have patients that come to me and they've done everything that they can to avoid diabetes, and now they're 70, for example, and they're starting to have issues with the sugars. And so they're like, what did I do wrong? Well, unfortunately, nothing. You did everything right, but it was on your genes, so it was coming.
But even if you have the genetic makeup for diabetes, there are still ways to manage it.
Absolutely. It's 100% manageable with the diet.
Keeping carbs, aka sugars, in check is the way to do that.
Everybody needs carbohydrates in their diet at each meal. Women generally need about 45 to 60 grams a meal. Men need about 60 to 75. And that applies to a person with diabetes or a person without.
A healthy range of sugar levels without eating or drinking anything 6 hours before a test is 70 to 99 milligrams per deciliter. 100 to 125 is borderline. That could mean a patient is pre-diabetic, meaning they need to make lifestyle changes to keep diabetes from developing. Sugar levels at 126 or higher signal a diabetes diagnosis. There's also something called A1C.
So I have a lot of patients that tell me, oh, my sugar's a little high because I just had a soda. But the A1C gives me an average of a 3-month journey of your body.
An A1C measurement of 5.6 or lower means your body has been able to control sugar levels for 3 months. Signs of diabetes can be feeling sluggish, difficulty concentrating, frequent urination, or frequent thirst. Diabetes itself is not deadly, but it can cause other complications that can be. So if you notice the signs, talk to your doctor.
You can check out all of our KSAT Explains coverage by scanning the QR code at the bottom of your screen. If there's something you want to explain, let us know on KSAT.com. They are always looking for more topics to discuss.
And speaking of diabetes, Diabetes Alert Day is coming up in 2 weeks on the 26th. University Health will hold a resource fair focused on the disease, and you'll have a chance to learn more about it in person. Plus, learn more about what your A1C is. You can actually get your A1C tested, speak with medical health experts. The event is being hosted by the Texas Diabetes Institute. You are encouraged to register before the event. We have a link to do that on KSAT.com in the KSAT community section.
It's now 20 till 10, 71 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
We'll be right back with a look ahead to some St. Patty's Day festivities going on this weekend and why sunflowers, they're important for your garden.
This weekend is St. Patrick's Day, and the Riverwalk will be dyed green tomorrow and Sunday for the annual tradition. St. Patrick's Day celebrations will be going on this weekend with a festival and 2 parades. The festival is at Arneson River Theater and La Vita from 1 to 6 tomorrow and Sunday. It's free and family friendly, but we'll have to keep an eye on the weather because we don't know how that will affect events.
And while we might not see the sun the next couple of days, the summers here are bright and hot, and the sunflowers can be a shining addition to your garden. That's why in today's edition of Gardening with KSAT, I'll explain why sunflowers are important and how to get them started.
Sunflowers can act as security guards or bouncers to your garden, distracting pests away from your other plants. They are good for wildlife, and most importantly, they can bring some major joy to your garden. I was inspired to plant sunflowers by a local woman from a memory care facility.
Sunflowers can be wild. Look at those million of seeds. Look, a plant that tall grows from this tiny seeds.
Let's take these seeds and see what they can do. I got a couple of varieties from Rainbow Gardens. I am planting border sunflowers, which can get 5 to 6 feet tall, and giant sunflowers that grow 12 to 14 feet tall. Sunflowers need full sun, so I watched where in my yard gets 8 hours of sunlight before planting. You want to till up your soil if these are going into new beds. It's important to add an organic compost. I also added an organic seed starter to give my new flower garden a boost. Plant 4 to 6 inches apart and sow ½ inch deep for the smaller varieties and 1 inch deep for the giant sunflowers. Make sure to keep the soil moist as those seedlings get started.
There they are.
Wow.
I took that picture last night.
1 week later, a little over one week later.
Yeah, 8 days later.
Yeah.
So you were saying how long until, because sunflowers get tall, and those things you said are what, going to be 6, 8 feet tall?
The variety, I did 4 to 6 feet one variety, and the big variety I did 10 to 14 feet. But they will be ready by May.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you'll show us later.
Yes, I cannot wait for the final result.
So the kind of thing that you can almost sit out there and watch grow, it's going to grow that quickly.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, the rain's going to help, obviously, and this has been something we have been needing for a long time. Our yards were doing fantastic earlier in the year and then gotten a little dry out there, but we've got a lot of rain in the forecast. As you can see, the sun is trying to squeeze through. Looking off to the sort of southeast right there, still a lot of low clouds hanging around here and some of this fog. The reason for this extended period of rain, which this is something we've just been hoping and praying for, is that low, which is off to the west of us, that dropped in here and that has just set up camp out there, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon at all. And what it's doing is wrapping around that counterclockwise flow. It's throwing disturbances on in here, and we've got the moisture that has come in here from the Gulf of Mexico, a lot of moisture aloft in the atmosphere, and so that's why we'll see the rounds and rounds of rain. Of course, we get the surface front to move down underneath this, so we have that overrunning situation. You get that somewhat cooler air down here at the surface, and then all that moist air on top of it and those disturbances. And again, this is going to be the situation in through the first part of next week. Better chances of rain are going to be today, tomorrow, Sunday. Not as great Monday, Tuesday, but then looks like it's going to pick back up again on Wednesday. And then finally, that thing's going to be moving on out of here, and we will actually get another little bit of clearing coming in here by late next week. But we've got an extended period of rain. All right, here's the strong storms up to the north of us, and nothing is developing back down to the southwest as of yet. However, it's something we definitely have to keep an eye on around here. That's all that's showing up as of right now. Computer model, we do have a little bit of sunshine out to the west, which is not good because that's just adding more volatility to the atmosphere. And this is what's going to be happening by later on this afternoon. We'll start to see some of these cells popping up around here. And these are the ones that are going, once they start to develop, they're going to build very, very quickly and become severe very quickly, potentially around there with the high winds and, of course, the very large hail. 1.5 inches, 2, close to maybe even 3-inch diameter hail is going to be a possibility. And that's the situation in through tonight. And like I said, there's another round of rain tomorrow, maybe not as widespread or more localized down to the southeast, but we get another wave of rain coming on in here, and that's going to be the situation Saturday night then into Sunday with more of that rain. We are at a 3 on a scale of 1 to 5. This is the enhanced risk for severe weather, and that was upped earlier this morning. Now, as far as tomorrow, still a small chance for severe weather, as well as on Sunday when that all finally gets on out of here. And today, like I said, hail, large hail is the biggest threats, and also windy conditions. And then we're going to be dealing with or having to be on the lookout for. Now, of course, heavy downpours today can cause some localized flooding, but as this continues on, as we see these waves of rain coming in here and the ground gets saturated and more rain all the way through Wednesday, then we might even start to see some of that more flooding in low-lying areas. But it's going to be great to see a couple of inches of rain, at least widespread, and even more than that in some situations. And so that's going to really help out, obviously, the aquifer. Hopefully a lot of that falls up there just to the north, especially where it's needed with the drought situation. So the forecast today, we do have the threat for severe weather later on this afternoon, 79 degrees. The front moves on through here. That's going to help to be kind of the focal point, the triggering mechanism for some of those stronger storms. And then tomorrow, as well as Sunday, a little bit cooler on Saturday and Sunday, and even cooler still Monday and Tuesday, beginning of spring, Tuesday night. And then we'll still have another round of rain around here on Wednesday. And like I said, KSAT weather app, keep that thing handy. Tells you when it's raining in your neighborhood or when and I think it's just going to be a matter of time until the severe thunderstorm watch gets issued and anything pops up. And of course, Sarah and me are going to be here today.
I know, we can watch during, of course, the 5, 6, and 10, but that weather app's so great because you guys will go live, as soon as that severe weather comes in.
Yep.
And, down to, the minute when it's going to be in your neighborhood.
If you're somewhere, you pull up the radar, it's like, okay, there's that storm, I can, make it home or whatever the case may be, so.
We will be watching this afternoon. Thank you, Mike. 9:50, 72 degrees.
It's always a great day to go to the zoo, and I know the zoo is probably jam-packed. Oh, flamingos are also having a spring break party. They're getting ready before the rain.
And there's the older couple walking in right there, just strolling in. See? Oh, another couple coming in.
Oh, you can relate here?
Oh, it's a party.
It's a party. It's a spring break party of all ages. We'll be right back.
A couple of away from home games for our Spurs this weekend. They're playing up the road in Austin at Moody Center. Tonight they'll be hosting the Denver Nuggets at 7:30. And then Sunday night they're playing the Brooklyn Nets. Then they come back for actual home games next week at Frostbank Center. Go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go.
You're talking about those birds, and did I relate to the older birds joining the party? Kind of, because they're saying this. Well, good thing this didn't start at 7 because that's our bedtime.
You know what? I can relate to the older birds too, Mike.
We are not seeing any sunshine right now. There's a little bit out to the west, which is, not a good thing to see that because that's just going to make the atmosphere that much more unstable. Nothing is showing up right now. Keeping an eye out off to the northwest right now. And of course, hail is going to be the biggest threat. Very large hail with these storms. And once they pop, they can go strong to severe quite easily. We have that very high risk out there, an enhanced risk, the orange area, which is a 3 on a scale of 1 to 5. The rest of our viewing area is on a 2, which is still a pretty good chance to see some strong to potentially severe storms. Here's what it looks like right now. Severe thunderstorm watch for Edwards, Valverde counties up until noon. And it's just a matter of time until the watch gets issued for later on this afternoon going into this evening around here. And again, we're going to have more rain around tomorrow, Sunday. Not constantly, not everywhere, but still more of those showers around. And then Monday, Tuesday, probably lesser chances, and then we'll pick back up again late Tuesday into Wednesday, and temperatures staying somewhat on the cool side. So severe weather aside, great forecast. Rain for 6 days.
We
here
really,
and there. Yeah.
really need that rain. Thank you, Mike.
Stay tuned, though, and get the app.
Be safe, everyone.
Okay. Have a good Friday. Happy last weekend of spring break. We'll see you back here at noon.
Happy St. Patty's Day.
Oh, that's right.